So we talk a lot here at Keystone about what we do in the real estate industry, especially how we need to be able to adapt in the residential market. But today we're going to focus on commercial. I do about 20% of my overall business year to year in the commercial market. I enjoy it. It is a long runway, but if I was just doing commercial, I would still chance to make probably 25 to 30% more every single year than what I do in real estate itself. Now, I really love the commercial market, but my residential market is where my people are. This is my family. This is where I grew up in real estate. Business brokering is where I got my start. So then when I went into residential, it was just a whole lot easier for me to be able to kick off and have a good conversation. But the thing that a lot of people don't consider with the commercial market is all of the commercial folks that you're dealing with also have a home. So they need not only someone that they can trust from where they're going to relocate and potentially set up the shop for their business, but they need to be able to have a real estate agent they can trust to do the residential as well. The coolest part about being a consultant with Keystone is we get to spread our wings as big as we want. We get to change our business. We need to take some risks occasionally and try new things. We do some fix and flips. We do some property management. We do some commercial space. We do quite a bit of international efforts. Internally, we are educators, we're teachers, we are activists, we are political vandals, if you will. We like to dabble in a little bit of everything. Our industry, in the last 12 months, we've done everything from barn dominiums to high-rise condos to hotels in South America. It's a great industry, but for you to be able to capitalize on the commercial side, which is what we're going to focus on today, kind of need to know how to even get in the industry. How do you get your foot in the door? So that's where we're going to focus. Hope you enjoy the show. For all of you that are joining us new today, I'm seeing some new faces. I'm seeing some new numbers on our YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon. So commercial real estate itself is a pretty dynamic industry. It allows us to help business folk find that perfect location where we're going to look to be able to switch from residential real estate or making a new career change entirely. Commercial real estate agents offers a lot of opportunities for growth and financial success. Suppose you're ready to embark on that commercial real estate journey. Well, in that case, I'm going to walk you through those essential steps. We're going to get you ready for the real estate market. We're going to explain exactly what a real estate commercial agent does and what your responsibilities are to your client. So let's start from the beginning. What is a commercial real estate agent? Commercial real estate agent specializes in helping clients buy, sell, or lease, and even manage on occasion properties for business purpose. Unlike residential real estate agents, those who deal with homes and apartments only, the commercial real estate field focuses on properties like office buildings, retail spaces, industrial complex, and multifamily housing units. Those agents that dabble in the commercial market play a crucial role, and those that do it full time identify properties that meet needs for businesses all over the United States, including the U.S. government. Different types of commercial real estate offices I mentioned. These are utilized by startups, scalable businesses, a lot of medical office buildings here in the state of Florida. There are retail office space. These are for grocery stores, boutiques, strip malls, restaurants, big box change, or even banks. On the industrial side, we've got manufacturing plants, warehousing, distribution centers, factories, and with our current government spinning up such a market towards the manufacturing space, this is a good angle for you to know that field and understand that there are going to be lots of new opportunities coming into that. Multifamily, always plenty of room here. Residential space consists of anything more than 5 units is considered multifamily in the state of Florida. This would be like an apartment complex or an apartment building, or even residential co-op spaces that use high-rise condos, for example, where it's residential on the top and it's commercial spaces along the bottom for shops and convenience stores, etc. Hotels, Those are my fun run. Those are the ones that take so much time and energy out of me during the day. These are everything from extended stays to full service hotels, limited service hotels and Airbnb splitters, and budget tier available. A lot of these beachside hotels that I like to dabble in um, have not only a full high rise opportunity for space, but they also do an Airbnb and even a cabana closer to the beach. And then you've got mixed use, right? These are the flexible configurations. These attract a variety of long-term lease tenants. And we see a lot in Florida, a lot of these distribution houses that just have trucks on one side and storage space on the other. Whether you're finding that prime real estate location for a new store or you're negotiating lease terms towards a triple N service for office space, or even facilitating an investment opportunity for large scale commercial development. A successful commercial real estate agent has got to possess a deep understanding of market trends, property valuations, zoning laws, and have to be unequivocally organized above and beyond anything else that they do in their business. The skill set that's essential for successfully navigating a complex transaction, securing a favorable term for a client, maximizing each and every deal's value and where it's going to make profit. And that's the name of the game in commercial space: profitability and space for shop and footprinting. So let's talk a little bit about commercial versus residential agents' salary, for example. If this is something you're intrigued in, maybe money is the turning point for you. The income is probably one of the most important factors for most of the agents that I have business dealings with when they evaluate and when they consider their career in the commercial real estate space. Both the commercial and the residential real estate agent have opportunities to make substantial salaries, and in the state of Florida, it's a very strong market. However, these roles' income structures and the earnings potentials do differ significantly. Commercial real estate agent will typically offer a higher commission than what you're dealing with. They negotiate against higher commissions because they have larger senses of liability and responsibility. But they do also allow a more complex navigating space for the transaction. So there's a lot more community conversation. There's a lot more transactional conversations that are going to happen in between vendors. So you may actually do less transactions total as far as closings themselves, but the amount of money that you can make is probably upwards of 25 to 30% more than a successful real estate agent on the residential side. If we're going to talk about national average, I made sure to pull up those numbers early this morning. The average nationwide salary for an agent is about $90,000. However, if you're looking at the ZipRecruiter reports, residential agents, and these are successfuls, this isn't just the average space. Successful real estate agent averages about 87,000 a year. Average commercial agent ranges around 125,000. So choosing between these two, if it's to align against your skills, your interests, your career aspirations, the deciding factor may just be it's a lot more work to get a transaction done, but I can close fewer transactions throughout the year, concentrating my energies on less quality of client space. And in your advertising and marketing folks, you're going to understand this better than most. Commercial agents don't have to go out and advertise themselves and advertise their listings as heavily and spend a lot of energies marketing in between an MLS. The commercial space has its own kind of domain. And if you're doing 2, 3, 5 deals a year, you're only dealing with 2, 3, 5 clients in a year as well. And it's a whole lot easier for some of your agents to manage, less of a customer workload. Let's talk about what the differences are for commercial too. Supplementally, deal size and volume. The commercial real estate deal will always involve larger property, higher transaction values, and this leads to, of course, higher commissions. Despite the lower percentage rates that people feel like you're going to make, the residential deals are more frequent, but they're always going to be smaller in size. So you need to understand that although I'm going to only do 3 commercial transactions, when we're talking of above 6% and above $1 million for every single transaction we do, it's very easy for me to make my end of the year expectation and my goals. Transaction frequency is the other thing that I had mentioned. A residential agent typically has to handle more transactions throughout the year, balancing lots of different customers, lots of different attitudes, lots of different swings in mood. That kind of frequency will absolutely affect their earnings and their cash flow consistency. Also, residential realtors go through probably 50% of their hot clients, their hot target leads, and actually only close half of those. Where a commercial market, are going to be able to focus holistically on a property and be able to really take care of the singular customer needs that are necessary to get them opened up in business. Um, Commission rates. Let's talk about that for just a minute, because although commercial and residential are still all very negotiable, the residential market is struggling a little bit with how they're having the commission conversations, not only on the listing side anymore, but also on the buyer side. The commercial world has always had that. It has always been open negotiations on the moment of initial conversation. Typically, the buyer of a property is expecting that they're going to have to pay their agent's commission because of the amount of time and liability that goes into it. So there's really, outside of having a conversation with the seller to see if they're willing to cooperate and use that as some money they can move on different side of the balance sheet, it's always been an easier conversation to talk about commissions. Now, residential agents typically earn 5 to 6% on the average, based on their negotiating capability and the skill set that they bring to the table, where a commercial side will typically be between 1 to 3%. But such a larger deal size on the commercial space, dollar for dollar, it's very, very different. When you're talking about larger deal sizes in commercial space, I'm talking about a minimum of 1.5 million for the type of properties that we typically represent, and for a hotel chain, between 15 and 80 million, depending on what we need to do. So even if I was only to negotiate 1% for myself, which I do not, I am an expensive consultant. I have a lot of business under my belt, and my clients understand that they are willing to pay for my services. I go above and beyond the average agent. So I earn typically far above the 1% average that I was just talking about. And as you earn your salt and gain your worth in the market, that word of mouth will go unchallenged. Market condition. We need to talk about that too. I could say this in residential as well. If you're in a strong residential market, you typically will have a comparable commercial market. Conversely, if the area is struggling, if it's difficult for people to live there, if it's expensive for people to live in certain areas and they don't have a very good residential market, you're going to struggle in the commercial space. Lots of turn for business and lots of turn for business ownership, but you're going to deal with a heavier leasing market in the commercial world versus the buyer's market. So both roles are influenced by market conditions, but the commercial real estate, please remember, is going to be more sensitive to economic cycles, business investment changes, the local, state, and federal governments making adjustments and making investments into certain types of industries will drive the commercial space. I have to listen to an insane amount of political structure and political conversations throughout my week and my day to day, because I need to know which way business is heading. Where are business operatives, big players, moving money throughout the local facilities, so that I know the kind of customers that I need to be approaching, and who should be expanding in certain markets. Right now in Florida, medical is a big winner. We do not have in the state of Florida a large industrial footprint. So if you're looking to get into power, oil and gas, those kinds of things, most of that kind of stuff is administered either by the state, or they are administered offshore by major corporations already, and they essentially lease space to do their oil and gas and their refinery practices. So they leased public lands for those kinds of things. So focus on where you're seeing lots of movement, which is why I tell you either the hotel and the hospitality space, um, bars and areas close to the beach where people can hang out because we have such a large percentage of people that visit the fine state of Florida. They need places to go and things to do and places to hang out. So that's the kind of space you want. You want restaurant space, you want bar and grill, mixed use, um, vacation or resort style properties where people can enjoy their time in the state of Florida. And then, of course, you've got specialization and experience. Both residential and commercial agents with specialized knowledge are going to need a strong network, extensive experience, and they're going to need a consistent learning to keep themselves energized. Commercial real estate agents, particularly, are sometimes rewarded financially when they develop expertise in that specialized niche, just like we do in the residential side. In the commercial side, you can differentiate yourself very easily by being a specialist in hotels or hotel management and those types of services. So, how do you become a commercial real estate agent? What's the change? What's different than being residential? When you're ready to really learn to get into commercial real estate, there are some steps that you want to do to establish yourself in the industry. We can explore a few of those together this morning, but the steps to becoming that commercial real estate agent are going to start with your very basic real estate license that you need to get from the state of Florida. We can do commercial, or we can do residential, or we can do business brokering through the same real estate license across the board. Step one, to be successful at it, however, you need to understand the industry. For you dive into commercial, because of the long runway, you're going to need to have the patience to organize a deal for potentially an entire year before you close it, or longer. Familiarizing yourself when you're getting into commercial real estate, you're going to need to learn about the different types of properties that I spoke about. You're going to need to learn about office buildings, retail space, industrial complexes, gas and convenience store stations. By understanding the industry itself, it's going to help you decide what interests you. Because when people see you're passionate about one of these industries or another, it's going to be very easy to talk with you so that you can influence some of the conversations that's helping them make a decision. Two, don't forget that real estate license. It's important for you to not only leverage your real estate license, but add the continuing education on top of it so that you can certify, accredit, and get yourself into a position where a sponsoring broker that's taking care of you understands your passion for the commercial market as well as the residential. So you'll need to make absolutely sure that when you're dealing with your continuing ed, it's going to offer a comprehensive selection for what you need on the commercial space as well. There are some excellent commercial transaction companies out there and educations specifically around the commercial market. Beyond that basic understanding of the industry, right? Your prospective commercial real estate agent is going to want to enroll in courses that cover not only the fundamentals of commercial real estate, but how to become a real estate broker. A lot of the community colleges and universities in the state of Florida offer things. They offer tons of online programs that are tailored for the commercial real estate principles too. And these courses are in addition to everything else you've got to do for your normal licensing and continuing education requirements you need to keep your normal real estate license up to date. The biggest and the best of that is the CCIM, the Certified Commercial Investment Member. This is a society, a club, if you will, of industrial and office realtors. The accredited land consultant is another one of those, and they have different specialties depending on the type of commercial real estate they're looking for. One helps developers in open land and helping get those things invested, and the other helps the office and the leasing spaces, the medical facilities, and those types of properties. But without these designations, a lot of people won't even recognize you in the commercial space. So getting your CCIM and able to maintain that will go a long way to making sure that people understand that you're serious in the industry and you're not just a part-time commercial agent. The most valuable thing that you're going to get is experience, right? Gaining that experience with you, taking a partner under your belt that is well versed so that you don't end up in a liable space that you can't get yourself out of is critical. You need to make absolutely sure that as an experienced agent in real estate doesn't necessarily make you a commercial agent. So the hands-on experience that you're going to need to gather, shadowing a little bit while you learn the ropes, understanding real client needs that are offering business opportunity versus moving into a house, um, is going to allow you to gain some practical industry knowledge that you truly need when you're talking to these types of investors that are going to not only build critical infrastructure and critical business factories and faculties for their local public, but how they're going to be able to bring their business to the next level because of the amount of foot traffic and drive-by traffic that they may need to have to make their business successful. You should definitely, when you're talking about commercial, get yourself some level of internship or partnership with someone that will help educate you for probably the first year that you're in it. Get a good 2, maybe 3 solid deals under your belt from end to end, and be involved in every facet of the deal so that you can fully understand before you go out on your own. Um, First commercial client that you ever get on your own that figures out quickly that you as an agent in this area don't know what you're talking about, the word's going to get out very quickly and it's going to break down walls that you have built up to support yourself faster than you could ever imagine that you did in the residential space. Speaking of your network, networking, especially in commercial, is more critical than ever. They are not a forced regiment of realtors where they have to belong to the local MLS. They have to belong to the Greater Tampa Realtors, for example. They have to belong to the Pasco County Realtors Association. They don't have to. As a business consultant and as a commercial space realtor, they just need to belong to business agencies that do business together. Businessmen help businessmen and women be successful. That's what they do. And that word of mouth is how all of real estate was done before all of these organizations were put into place. So I hate to say you need more of an old school mentality when it comes to being in the commercial market, but you need to understand how to build a network by hand, shaking hands, kissing babies, politicking a little bit. Um, you need to attend industry events, join larger professional organizations beyond just the NAR or beyond the CRED, right? You need to be able to connect with other professionals that are truly in this field and that are successful in the field. Build a robust network, and this will help lead to potential clients, industry referrals, and incredible insights into how you're going to make things more successful. Then you need to develop a specialty. In the residential world, we talk about building a niche, whether you're talking about probates or whether you're talking about divorces or whether you're talking about high rise or whether you're talking about beachside and enterprise level experiences. It's important that you specialize in a niche that'll help set you apart from other commercial real estate agents. You cannot shotgun your way through the commercial space like you can in the residential space. If I can sell a house here, I can sell a house anywhere as long as I can learn the area and learn all the important factors that are going to help me solidify business transactions in residential. The commercial space is very different. It's going to test your knowledge of other office spaces in the area, other potential retail properties that might be directly competing against the client you're working with, industry faculties, investment properties nearby. Developing your expertise in a specific area like this is going to make you sought after in a heartbeat. Your advertising on who you are on LinkedIn as a professional service is going to take you a whole lot farther than sitting out your local coffee shop and just talking to home buyers. You need to select your specialty by assessing your interest too. And I could say this for residential also. but your passion becomes your strength. People do business with who they want to do business with. So research your market demand in your area, identify thriving sectors. Your mission should be able to help gain experience in the niche of your choice, but seeking the mentorship and making sure that you've got an experienced and executive level agent on your side is going to help you narrow down your interests. Someone that's been doing this for a while can talk to you for a long time and figure out very quickly, profile you, if you will. You are going to do very well in the retail space, or you're going to do very well based on your background in the restaurant space. And then you market yourself. Commercial agents typically create very strong personal brand. They use this to digital market, the strategies that they promote for their services. Consider building a professional website. This will leverage social media. This will do plenty of blogging about what's going on in the industry trends. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, they want to know that you know Tampa Bay. You're invested in government conversations where the local government and the state government is supportive of industry growth. They want to know you know business acumen, that you yourself maybe have owned a business in the past, and that's why you know what they're going through. Producing an effective marketing material that surrounds you with the industry niche of your choice is going to be paramount for you to be able to attract the right clients and establish a reputation in the industry. If someone is interested in talking to you about medical facilities, you should be able to throw them a one-pager with a bio about you and yourself and your experience in front of a property that you are willing to show them around and show them your expertise. Do a blind walkthrough on a property that they may not be interested in, but they can see your skills in vetting out and searching through the mires of one-to-one transactions to find out what's actually available in the area. Because I can't get on Zillow in the commercial market and go find exactly what I'm looking for. Typically, the stuff that is put on the open market that's available is considerably more expensive than what I can do if I've got a great commercial agent that has farmed the area, knows what's coming, knows what's going, knows where they're building a new development, knows where they're putting in new commercial properties, understanding why a new hospital might be moving in and why a bunch of medical professionals are going to need supporting space nearby. That's what's going to make you good at this. Not bullshitting your way through hey, do you like the carpets here? How about the backyard? Is Fluffy going to enjoy running around in the backyard? That's not going to cut it in commercial. You need to understand why they need to work with you, why you can get them to the best place for them to open up their business, and why you're going to understand how the town moves as a fluid transaction. So it's going to bring the most people to them so that they have the most availability for business. And then how on earth do you stay informed? Commercial industry is constantly evolving, constantly changing. Hell, every time we change presidents, this entire nation decides that it's going to go in a different industrial direction. So you need to understand how to stay on top of that. And yeah, you're going to have to disconnect yourself from Fox or CNN or ABC News to figure that out. You're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to actually talk to business professionals at some of these industry events and see what's interesting to them, what's driving it. And trust me, if they're doing a big industry event in your area, that's where you're going to find out, because they know what's coming next and what's been approved by the local city councils. So they're going to be able to tell you what you need to be investing your time and your energies in. So stay informed, stay up to date with what's happening in the market, the regulatory changes, new technologies that are coming out that are driving businesses to the area. Tampa Bay, for example, is a mammoth technological hub that is taken advantage of by 15 of the top 50 technological industries in the United States, and every single one of these have a global presence. They build in Tampa because the Tampa local government and the state government give them incentives to be able to move here and bring their organization here. They will always start by renting space while they are finding their facility and while they are building business to be able to support with the building that they want to own themselves. This is also a great opportunity for you to network and understand great business minds. And again, If they're bringing in jobs to your area, those people need a place to live. So one hand can help the other with your success and your goals. Stay informed and help provide them the very best service. And ultimately, you'll be able to talk the talk residentially to all of their new hires too. So now let's shift a little bit, that I've probably scared most of you away from the industry, and talk about what a real estate agent actually does. The commercial real estate agent plays a multifaceted role in the commercial world. Commercial real estate agent is going to help a client buy, sell, lease, and remember, manage properties used for commercial purposes. But their work involves a very delicate blend of market research, client interaction, property evaluation, and negotiation is paramount to the success. Lots of variations of career path that's available when you're looking how to get into the commercial space, but you need to understand that the type of agent you are is going to make a huge difference. First off, there is commercial brokerages. Those are brokerages that specialize in the commercial space. They market themselves as a commercial agency only or exclusively. You can certainly do additional work for them, but that's not how they're setting themselves up as an umbrella. They assist clients in finding not just properties, but negotiating the full terms and the facilitation of the transaction too. Those types of brokerages often specialize in a particular type of community property, whether it's office buildings, retail spaces, beachfront properties, etc. You want to make sure that if you're in the commercial space, you either set yourself up at a place like Keystone that gives you the ability and the market ability to work one-on-one with a broker to be able to expand your business model, or if you're going to do exclusively commercial space and commercial space only, and you're still learning the game, you sometimes need a bigger brand to get yourself started and then go back to a facility or a smaller firm that's more boutique that can help you organize yourself and keep you within the lines so you don't consistently hit that shotgun approach. In-house real estate agent is a little different. The in-house agent, for example, you come to Keystone, you want to work with commercial. There's only a few of us here that have a commercial background, whether it's business brokering or if it's business facilities purchasing. You want to make sure that you're working directly with the leadership in Keystone to work through those types of transactions. There are three of us right off the top of my head that I can think of that have commercial experience here. And the one-on-one opportunities that brings is a lot less challenging, a lot less competitive as well. And it's going to give you an opportunity to really push the levels of your own personal education and even fail a little bit. There's plenty of success to be found in that type of scenario where you did some things wrong. You can very quickly get back up on your feet and get back into a situation where you can be successful for your client. Working as the in-house agent, as that commercial specialist, can also help because as those conversations come in from other residential agents, for example, they'll funnel that business to you, essentially referring the commercial business into you as that agent. They still receive a referral fee, so they can do that, and they can continue the hustle that they have in their residential business so that they can kind of hand the customer off and just check in occasionally for an update. Property management, also a big one, not only for the individual investors, but for the different agencies that are out there. Commercial property managers oversee the day-to-day operations of a commercial property. So their responsibility is maintaining the property itself, make sure it stays up to codes, they're not getting in trouble with the city, handing out tenant relationships and making sure that the right tenants are in the right places and the facility is staying to its maximum rented capacity, and ensuring compliance with local regulations, right? The effective property manager is going to ensure that the property remains in tip-top condition so that it consistently attract tenants. That way they can maintain their value. It is important that as a commercial property manager that you also know the value of your property? Is it staying up to code? Is it staying up to date? Is it modernized? Does it have the appropriate and in good condition quality of parking and available parking for what is being done there? And if you put the wrong business inside of your facility, if you rent it out to something that is incredibly controversial, you may put the relationships with your other tenants at risk as well. So you have to make sure that when you're renting out tenant spaces, that you're doing it in a way that is supplementing the business opportunities that you've already captured into your facility. Investors. Agents that directly work with commercial investors, those are the folks that are looking to actually buy and or sell commercial properties as just part of an investment portfolio. They analyze the market trends typically in advance on their own. They're going to assess the property's values with you, and they're going to identify opportunities for profitable investment. This role requires very strong analytical and technological skills and a keen understanding of the financial market. If that's not your thing, if you have said at more than one party that I am not a numbers person, this is not the niche for you. You'll want to keep moving on. Leasing. Leasing agent. Good money to be made here. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of businesses want to try before they buy. So they want to lease in the area while they're building up and consuming a business model that produces enough income so they can go out and buy their own property and essentially move to a bigger and better structure. Nothing looks better for a company than to, here's where we started, look at us now. That model is incredibly successful and follows that American business trend of how do I show my success. A leasing agent will specialize in helping landlords find tenants for their available commercial properties. So you may help a landlord by representing his entire short farm or his entire office space or his entire small commercial market, strip mall, if you will, so that you can make sure that you've got a relationship with the tenants. You know when those tenants are leaving. You know when those increases need to happen on their next lease. And you know when new vacancies are going to come in so that you can go ahead and have it rented before it becomes available ultimately. This type of role is critical for a business owner or a property owner to be able to keep that high level of occupancy that's going to make it easier for them to get loans, protect their business structure, protect their business model, and be able to sell it as a marketable piece of real estate when it's time. And yes, if you are the go-to person for all the leasing, what do you think is going to happen when it's time to sell the entire complex? They should be coming to you first. Developer. No, I don't want any part of this one, but I'm going to tell you about it. Developer agents have the real estate opportunity to be involved in creating brand new commercial properties with a developer partnership. They work on projects from the ground up. This includes acquisition, financing, construction, marketing. This career path combines a whole lot of elements: project management, finance, real estate expertise, and the understanding of whether or not you're building the right marketplace in the right market itself. This one's a tough one. The amount of time that you need for this niche is more than I have available. Consultant. This one's my all-time fave, and this is where I create all of my commercial real estate experience. As a real estate consultant, I get to advise clients. I get to make sure that they understand all of the aspects of commercial real estate. This includes the marketing analysis, the numbers behind property evaluations, the investment strategies that they should be using, including the investors and the partners that they need to bring on board, how they should be working with the developers, how they should be incorporating real estate into their different departments. And this is something that you can even do as a part-time agent. As a consultant, Keystone, we advise our clients to the best investment transaction from start to finish. And sometimes that means we have to have a hard conversation. We have to tell our clients, this is not the area for you. This is not the industry for you. This is not the part of town you want to open up that barbershop. Sometimes that's the tough role in the conversation. And for all of you that are on the live channel this morning, I do see all your questions piling in. I understand I won't be able to get to all of those today, but thank you so much for the live interaction. I'm loving it. It's keeping me energized, and I appreciate you very much. Um, each career path offers a very unique opportunity from what we were talking about from these. Obviously, consulting being my fave, named our company after this business model so that we could be more than just the average everyday real estate agent. The interest that comes with the commercial real estate industry, whether you're drawn into just the transactional world of brokering or you're a big strategist and you enjoy being a component, a gear in the larger machine to developing your city and your local facilities, getting hands on with property management and finding a niche that can help you advise customers in going the right direction because they want to build a commercial portfolio versus a residential landlord portfolio might just be the thing. So let's talk about the final Q in, which is the difference between residential and commercial real estate deal flow, right? Although both require the exact same licensing, especially in the state of Florida, the deal flow in residential and commercial differs significantly. In residential real estate, the process involves property research driven by a personal preference, straightforward offer negotiations, home inspections, standard mortgage financing, relatively simple closing processes, to be very honest. But in contrast, commercial real estate transaction begins with a very detailed market analysis. The property search that you have to do, followed by a letter of intent, which is the first shot across the bow that I want to do business, may negotiations begin. The extensive due diligence phase. This is not a house inspection. You have to inspect everything. And this means you need to even inspect the facility from the business that was there before that may cause some problems with the business or the reputation of that area that was derived from the former business or former tenant that might be driving business away from the whole area. And you may not be wanting to be there. The involvement of these various professionals, the brokers, the attorneys, the financial analysts, it's a lot more pronounced in commercial. The relationships are true business association. It's not just someone that you met and they're just the title company of the day that was chosen by the buyer. You need to be able to be pronounced in everything that you do. You need to be a consummate professional and understand that every bad conversation drives away business. Emphasize the larger scale and the higher stakes of what the commercial real estate agent has to go with. So, a couple of questions and then I'll close it all up for you. What challenges might I face as a commercial real estate agent? Okay. So, challenges in the commercial agency is everything from navigation, is probably the best word for it, but how you can actually involve the intricate finance and legal considerations, understanding the market fluctuations, how they can impact the property value and demand. That's going to require an agent to be much more informed. The challenges of being knowledgeable and maintaining that level of knowledge is almost more serious and more time consuming than the time you're going to spend with the client itself. Staying updated with the regulatory changes and the things that happen in the local government, you need to be a robust professional and you've got to be able to build a network essential for success. And it's going to cost you time. And let's be honest, kids, let's bring it in for just a minute. If people don't like you on a personal level, they're not going to like you on a business level. And they're going to crater your career aspirations because you're not a likable person. If that has ever been the case for you, whether you're talking about going to McDonald's and being a jerk, or whether you're talking about being able to sit at a Thanksgiving dinner with your family during controversial conversations and not be the guy that everybody wants to leave, is going to help you make the decision of whether or not you should be in the commercial market. Hope that was helpful. How do you gain the experience in commercial real estate? I think I went through that enough. You may have joined late, but working underneath an experienced partner and actually getting yourself into kind of a mentor-mentee relationship with someone that knows what they're doing is critical for not only you to be good at this, but for them to drive business with you. So it looks like they're working with a team, and it helps them get more of a transactional back and forth so that you can get the entry level understanding of how to get past all of those hurdles before you try to deep dive into the business. And I've got time for one more. Oh, I like this one. How do commercial real estate agents get paid? Commissions. Commissions are always a negotiated percentage of the property's sale price or the lease value. Standard commissions are ranged, and all I can say is what the averages have been. And it's anywhere from 1 till 10%, depending on the type of real estate you're getting into and the value of the real estate transaction. You're not going to get 5% of a $35 million hotel transaction. Simply isn't going to happen. I want to know you if you're able to make that work, though, because I'm interested in learning it. The commission is usually split between both sides. There's typically always a buyer's and a seller's agent. No one comes to the table in commercial without representation on both sides. Even the investors understand the value that we fight against in residential every single day. So it is still a very commission-based transactional relationship that gets you paid. You add value from the time that you are introduced to an opportunity. Heads up, no brokerage is 100% when it comes to commercial transactions. Commercial transactions put a real estate brokerage under an insane amount of scrutiny and liability, and they have to maintain a level of reputation far above what you're even doing as an agent. So they get their piece of the pie too. And the good news is they will typically, by reputation, drive business to you as well. So whether you're going to switch from being a real estate agent for residential, or if you just want to dive in a little bit and get your feet wet, commercial real estate market is incredibly challenging and rewarding. Be ready for the fight. With the right education, with the right skill set, a network and classes like this, and an acceptable brokerage that understands what you want to do, and they help keep you motivated and help keep you on the path, set some guardrails and keep you protecting yourself and the way you do business, you can and will build a very successful career in this industry. Keep that deep understanding of how you're going to get into it, and understand that by holding your real estate license, there are lots of opportunities and industries that you can dive into to benefit from your expertise, everything from property management to real estate investment. Thank you all very much for spending the time with us today. I'm going to shut the live channel off now, and I give this time to my internal brethren here at Keystone so that we can talk about some of the things that are important to them. We appreciate you all so very much. Do great things and do great business. Talk to you soon.